See what spaces CSF is actually occupying here. You guys, I'm holding this model oriented the way it is inside my brain. Okay? So anterior, posterior, left, right, anterior, posterior, left, right. So, left lateral view, seeing. Left side view, seeing. So all this gray here, this is CSF filling the left lateral ventricle. Turn it around, right side view, all of this gray here is CSF filling the right lateral ventricle. The gray down here at the bottom, I'll get to the pink in a moment, the gray here at the bottom, that's CSF filling the fourth ventricle. The picture shows the continuation of the central canal of the spinal cord. The model doesn't have that. So we've got the fourth ventricle here. The third ventricle, kind of see this thing that's got a hole in it? Poke the probe right through the hole. Probe through the hole right there. See this gray that's got the hole in it. I'll grip the gray right now that has the hole through it. What am I gripping? Third ventricle. So the third ventricle they're showing with a hole in it. In reality, it isn't a hole. In the actual brain, what they've got as a hole in the model is the intermediate mass of the thalamus. It's a commissure. It's a solid object connecting the two sides of the thalamus. So you've got this little stalk, this little bundle of axons crossing the midline in the third ventricle, connecting the two sides of the thalamus. So in other words, why do they have a hole there? Because there's no CSF there. There's something running through the third ventricle, the intermediate mass of the thalamus. There's CSF going around the hole. Now all this gray here is CSF, all this gray here is CSF filling the third ventricle. Okay, what's connecting the third ventricle, what's connecting this third ventricle to this fourth ventricle down here? You guys see this gray here, right there? Third ventricle there, fourth ventricle down here, and what's this gray running between them? Cerebral aqueduct. CSF filling the cerebral aqueduct there. Okay, so the cerebral aqueduct joins, there's a channel or passageway between the third and the fourth ventricle. What's connecting the two lateral ventricles to the third ventricle? So the third ventricle is right on the midline. Cerebral aqueduct, right on the midline. Fourth ventricle, right on the midline. Two lateral ventricles are contralateral spaces. They are on opposite sides of the midline. But what links the two lateral ventricles to this third ventricle? See them this way. See this connection right there? This connection right there. So there's the CSF in the right lateral ventricle. There's CSF in the third ventricle. See this connection right there? That's CSF in what's called the right interventricular foramen. It's actually a duct, but in the literature it's always called a foramen. This is the right interventricular foramen. So turn it around, and running in between this left lateral ventricle and third ventricle is right here, it's the left interventricular foramen, another passageway for CSF. Now the pink objects, where do you find them? The fourth ventricle has a pink object. The third ventricle, guys, you see that, has a pink object right there. Each lateral ventricle, the right lateral ventricle has a pink object. The left lateral ventricle has a pink object. Choroid plexus. The pink, each area of pink is a choroid plexus for the conversion of plasma into CSF. There's no choroid plexus in the interventricular foramina. There's no choroid plexus in the cerebral aqueduct. And if we did continue down the central canal of the spinal cord, there's no choroid plexus in the central canal of the spinal cord either. So there are four ventricles, and inside each ventricle is a choroid plexus. So there are four choroid plexuses, period. That's this model. Any questions?